You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
And welcome back to the program. I am joined now by Representative Vivian Flowers, Democrat of Pine Bluff.
Yes.
Friend of this
District
show.
65.
Thank you for being here. So, yeah, you've got a new district now.
I do.
You are also on the House Education Committee
I
and
am.
the House Insurance and Commerce Committee. I want to point that out for purposes of some of the questions we're going to ask. All right, earlier in the show, we rolled through the Democrats' plan for increasing teacher pay to $50,000 for the minimum starting salary, $10,000 bonuses, non-classified personnel up to $15 an hour, and some per pupil foundation funding coming up. When will we see this legislation run in committee?
As soon as possible.
Well, Tuesdays as soon as possible. House Education Committee?
Don't forget that we have to do, for every bill now in education, a fiscal impact. So that will have to be done first.
Okay.
And then, of course, I imagine that we'll get a lot of questions, and it's a pretty robust piece of legislation. So I suspect that the sponsor will want to make it a special order. That's what I would do.
Okay, so you don't think it's going to just come up in regular committee business? You think there'll be a special order set?
Everything is different now, and at our first meeting, we had a pretty lengthy discussion with Marty Garrity, the director for Bureau of Legislative Research, on how our bills will be studied in terms of the fiscal impact statement. There's a third party. It's not a DF&A fiscal impact.
But you guys kind of rolled out some details of what the fiscal impact may be, because we've kind of known all of this through adequacy study as well as through kind of the regular budgeting process. I mean, Governor Asa Hutchinson put out about $550 million in new education funding in his proposed balanced budget. This price tag that you guys rolled out is around $400 million, if I used a little rounding error or math there. So.
Yeah, and let me correct myself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was insurance and commerce. But we do have all of our bills for education also going through fiscal impact, and I believe that is DF&A. And if you'll look at the agenda, just the other day we had 2 or 3 bills that were ready to be addressed, and all the rest of them are still going through fiscal impact.
All right.
So that's why I think it would be unreasonable to be.
Week?
I don't know if next week, but I don't believe it'll be Tuesday.
Are you waiting to see what is going to be in the education package that Governor Sanders presents, or do you think you know what all's going into it already?
I know I don't know what all is going into it. And I think everybody's waiting. I know some of my Republican colleagues are waiting as well. I anticipate that it'll be somewhat of an omnibus bill, and there will be lots of things in it. And Republicans, I suspect, and certainly Democrats, will give due consideration to all the measures. But right now, we are focused on presenting the RAISE Act, and it's something that we're excited about because it is an issue that we know that we are in lockstep with the governor, based on what she shared during her inauguration speech.
Yeah. But you know, politics-wise, she's not going to let you guys get credit for giving teacher pay raises to her desk.
If I were her, I probably wouldn't either, but that's not my concern. I'm not the governor. I'm not her staff. I am a legislator representing my district. We are Democrats. And, you know, whether we are sponsors and co-sponsors of the bill that she ultimately signs, I think everybody is aware that this is something that we have been fighting for and arguing for, to the chagrin of many of our colleagues who have spoken against and voted against teacher pay raises in the past. So, you know, hopefully with the governor's support, we will see something similar to what we are pushing through the RAISE Act.
All right, you were on the House Education Committee, as I mentioned earlier. There was a debate on Thursday for this transgender restroom bill, bathroom bill. We've been through this debate before. We're going to go through this debate again. There is a vote scheduled up probably on Tuesday for it. The testimony ran long. What are your concerns that are in that measure right now? You raised some in committee, but I'm not sure everybody was paying attention to what was going on in committee.
I have a pretty long list of concerns, but I think first of all, I think that there are some pretty serious constitutional issues. While one appellate court has upheld bathroom legislation, two other appellate courts, I believe 4th and 7th circuits, have said that it's unconstitutional. So therein lies an issue where even as education leaders from Conway have expressed that this is an issue for them, I'm concerned about the kind of money that the state will have to spend fighting it, coupled with the fact that, you know, where is the commitment to local control of schools, and placing something like this over the entire state for every school district. And even though we got a fiscal impact that said that there will be no fiscal impact, you know, I was reminded in committee that there is a single-use restroom on in every school, at least in the nurse's office. But you know, I can't imagine being a student across campus and running to the nurse's office every time I have to use the restroom, or especially if I'm an athlete. I just think that it's unreasonable, and it is a bad solution in search of a problem that doesn't exist.
You've got a gun bill that you're also, I think, making plans to move as soon as.
Yes.
When? Tell me a little bit about what the bill does. When do you plan to run it?
So beginning of February, I worked on this with Senators Stubblefield.
February last year?
No, so beginning of February is when it will likely run.
Gotcha.
But we've been working on it for over 2 years. I worked on it with Senators Stubblefield and Caldwell. I got a call from my constituent and started working on it. Heard they were trying to work on something similar. And basically all the bill does is restore gun rights to nonviolent felons after 10 years of good behavior. There are several states that have restoration laws. This one is probably most closely akin to the Louisiana law that exists for restoration. And it's one of those bills that, again, Democrats and Republicans can come together on, because, you know, if anyone who is truly committed to second chances and understands that we're dealing with people who are not convicted of violent crimes, can see that it's a good bill. And we've done our due diligence. The Prosecutors Association is on board, and we've worked diligently with them over the years to make sure that we address all the issues. The state police and ACIC has helped us with the legislation. And once I pre-filed it, you know, there was quite a bit of pub. I was out of town and got, you know, all these calls about it. But most importantly, I've gotten people calling me from other districts, legislators, Republicans across the aisle, as well as Democrats who support it. And, you know, even Mom's Demand is neutral on it. Yep. So I anticipate that it's something that'll pass with great support.
All right. Representative Vivian Flowers, she's a Democrat of Pine Bluff. Always good to be with you.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks.
Take care.